Judge tosses radar gun suit against Lee Sheriff's Office. Fort Myers, Florida. A federal judge dismissed a lawsuit against the Lee County Sheriff's Office over the use of the radar detector that had yet to receive state approval. Mabel Lopez brought the suit after a 2012 traffic stop, which she claimed was without probable cause. The deputy who stopped her used a Python 2 radar gun, which wasn't okayed for use in Florida until 2015. United States District Court Judge Paul Magnuson ruled that the deputy's visual estimate was enough to warrant the stop. The deputy believed she was going between 50 and 52 miles per hour in a 35 miles per hour zone. Deputies are trained to be able to visually determine the speed of a car within 3 miles per hour, according to the sheriff's office. The radar indicated she was going 50 miles per hour, the sheriff's office said. Magnuson cited an 11th Circuit Court case that held a law enforcement officer's visual estimate constitutes probable cause. Lopez also attempted to bring a class action suit against the sheriff's office, but that effort proved unsuccessful.
A Wink News exclusive investigation into speeding tickets that may unhinge the court system.
Up to 52,000 speeding tickets written in Lee County since 2004 may have been issued improperly. Why? Wink News investigator Dave Culbreth found out it all has to do with the type of radar gun the Lee County Sheriff's Office should not have been using.
How does this happen? How does the sheriff spend taxpayer dollars on something he's not allowed to use?
While you may expect a defense attorney to say something like that about thousands of questionable speeding tickets, others are saying it as well, including this former federal prosecutor.
This is a real screw-up, okay? There's no two ways about it.
For 3 decades, Mark Bonner was a prosecuting attorney for the United States Department of Justice in Los Angeles, Moscow, and Washington, D.C. He now teaches law at Ave Maria.
And there must be thousands and thousands of cases.
Our investigation discovered for at least the last 10 years, the Lee County Sheriff's Office has issued an average of 100 speeding tickets a week, which adds up to 52,000 tickets. Sources with direct knowledge of the situation say most of those are based on a radar device called the Python 2.
Florida is one of the better states on specifying what they want in their radars.
You could say Don Sawicki wrote the book, actually several books, and has a website about radar devices. He says the problem with the Python 2 lies in what's known as beam width, and that it does not meet Florida's minimum design specifications.
It specifically says that the beam width shall not exceed 12 degrees.
Here, the cops are trying to clock the speed of the front car, and with a device with a 12-degree beam width, it's no problem. But with a 15-degree beam width,
he could be picking up traffic that he's not expecting to pick up. And so he may mistake somebody for speeding that isn't speeding.
That's a problem, because the Python 2 has a 15-degree beam width.
Therefore, any speed measurement from the Python 2 is inadmissible in any court in Florida concerning the speed of a motor vehicle.
Yes, you heard right, not admissible in court. And since it doesn't meet specifications, it's not on the state of Florida's list of approved devices.
The procurement officer who is buying these radar guns probably looked at the list, I would hope, of approved radar measuring guns and found that while there is a model Python that's approved and a model Python 3 approved, and probably missed the fact that the Python 2 is not on there.
That's assuming they looked at it.
That's assuming they looked at it. If they didn't look at it, shame on them. Okay, that's even worse.
So, did they look at the list? Wink News did public records requests to the State Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and found this email chain from the commander of the Lee County Sheriff's Traffic Division in January, who, after talking with his top administrators, wrote that they were not even aware that there was a list.
We goofed up is probably going to be the answer.
Do you see any other answer?
I don't. No, I don't.
And the Python 2 was never even submitted for approval.
It's obviously a mistake, but a mistake that managed to survive for years and years and years.
So, how many years have they used the Python 2? Well, the Sheriff's Office would not give me a straight answer, but in that same email chain, the commander wrote, "Our agency purchased the last batch in 2004. So, I asked for the purchase orders and was told we only retain those records for 5 years. That'd be 2009. So I asked exactly when were they destroyed? Answer, March 25th of this year. That'd be 2 months after they realized they had a problem. Fort Myers attorney Sawyer Smith represents criminal defendants.
Anybody that was a part of that needs to be immediately investigated and suspended from duty. Once they figured out they have a problem, they are on notice that something is coming. It is their duty to preserve evidence.
We asked, what about people who got pulled over because of the Python 2 and wound up getting other charges?
But let's say he pulls you over and you roll down the window and you smell like a brewery, or he looks inside and there's drugs all over the inside of the car. And if he didn't have that reasonable suspicion to stop you or probable cause to stop you, then everything that flows from that, it's an illegal stop, basically.
We're going to be filing motions to suppress all evidence after the initial stop, because the stop is no longer valid. It's the fruit of the poisonous tree, not only for pending cases, but now we're going to have to look backwards.
And what about no one in the sheriff's office apparently knowing that there even was a list of approved radar devices?
They're in law enforcement. They are charged with the task of knowing the law.
And what about those of you who got speeding tickets?
There's a provision like this in Florida law where it's too late to bring it back to the trial, so you reopen the whole thing, and the court sends it back down for a new trial, and then they dismiss the case and then clear your record off.
So could people actually get some of these thrown out?
Yes, I think so. The answer is yes.
It's going to cause a tremendous uproar in the community.
If you're in prison right now because of a radar gun, a Python 2, you need to call your lawyer immediately.
That uproar again, the portion of those 52,000 tickets that were written based on the Python 2 radar guns. The sheriff's office either wouldn't or couldn't tell us how many Python 2 guns they had or were using. But they are all off the streets as of the end of January. We also got purchase orders from January this year where the sheriff's office traded in 85 Python 2s towards the purchase of 160 new approved devices. So they had at least 85 of them. It's important to note that the sheriff's office says the last batch of Python 2s was purchased in 2004, and Sheriff Scott was first elected at the end of that year. We've been asking the sheriff's office for comments on all of this. So far, nothing.
And you've also been checking around the state to see who else might be using these.
Yes, and the answer to that is real simple. The Orlando police are currently using 3 dozen of them around the clock. That's 3 dozen. But other than that, there were very few. And here in Southwest Florida, the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office was using 3 of the Python 2s, and when I told them what the problem was, they immediately took them off the streets.